Began to do the water signs. So, how many water signs do we have in the house? I'll do a quick collective energy and then I'll probably do the fire signs and the earth signs my time tomorrow morning, which will be your evening in Europe or America, wherever you are in the world. How are we all? And hi, Adrian, she just inboxed me. She's probably going, oh, Yildiz, you're back on YouTube. Yes, Adrian, I'm a Libran / Cancer. Most of my chart's Cancer. But I have the joy of being a Libran. But we are going to discuss Cancerians, Scorpions, and Pisces. My computer just died. So we'll have to be short and sweet with this energy reading as my cat frustrates me. You guys are going to be experiencing some interesting energy. Now, a lot of you guys have a lot of family dynamics going on, especially with where the planets are. We go retrograde on the 5th. So a lot of you are going to have some interesting energy coming up. A lot of you are wanting universe to make decisions for you, yet you don't like that aspect either. So it's like you feel you can't win no matter what you're doing. Some of it you feel is out of your power, some of it is, some of it isn't. But a lot of it is directly connected to a lot of external influences directly impacting you. So definitely at a level, it's almost like you're last on the chart. And how do I put that? In your life in general, it's like you've really put yourself very much last and you have put a lot of people ahead of yourself. So, you know, a lot of you are 50-50 in this energy, water signs. You know, you'll be to the point where you've done it for so long, you're really, really pissed about it. But at the same time, you, in some aspects, you have control over it. But you know that there's going to be a bloody lot of work if you do certain things in a particular way. Some of you are just walking away from those aspects and saying it's too bloody hard. Others of you are staying in it, but you know, you've got to retain your power. You've got to get your power back to the point where you say, is this acceptable for myself? And at the moment, if you're in it and you're tolerating it, yes, universe will force your hand, because being in the retrograde with Chiron, it's connected to the wounded healer. So what then happens is, if there are wounds that you're holding, that you're carrying through your life, Chiron's going to be with us for 8 years, theoretically 9. With the other planets interacting with them, even if you didn't want to make decisions, your hand will be forced. And, you know, that hurt that you've been holding that maybe you're not super aware of, it's actually going to come up into highlight and you're going to have tower moments. Now, some of these you may have experienced already. Some of them will continue to come until you purge that karmic cycle. But again, it is a death of ego. So with the Cancerians, you know, it can be a lot of family-related dynamics. You're really a family-orientated sign. So this can be your mother, your father, your children, your partners. It can be work colleagues directly impacting you. You are at the end of the chart, and it's like the connection to you wanting the power and feeling you have the power but directly don't have the power. That's really impacting you at the moment. It's affecting your health. It's affecting your finances. And it's directly affecting the people around you, but you're not quite knowing what to do. You're sort of feeling like you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. And energetically, yes, you are. But a lot of it is how you're going to direct your energies into those people, how you're going to interact them, and how you're not going to interact them is going to deem the outcome. So if it means not playing a game with people, it means cutting ties and not playing games with people. If it means interacting with them in a different way, many of you have dealt with things at different ways and still ended up with the same result. So that's going to be your clarity, is the going back over old ground. So when you're going back over old ground, it's almost like you're doing the 360 of your world, like I've said with the other sign, and you're saying, shit, no matter what I'm doing, it just seems I keep getting the same result with these key people in my life. And I really don't know what to do anymore. But the reality is you physically need to take your power back because you're the key to the situation. A lot of us have come to a point where we have given our power away. And Chiron is a very personal energy where you are needing to do the work on yourself. So, like I was doing in the previous readings, a lot of the energies that were coming through were directly connected to me focusing on you solely, not so much focusing on your relationship, really, but more you as a spiritual being, really none the wiser as to what was going on with the planets. And that's why I've spent a great deal of time really looking into the planetary alignment, because the way my gift works is energetically 2-3 months before you guys feel this energy, I've already gone through it. So then when it happens, I kind of like, yeah, I totally relate to that because I've actually physically been through it. You guys, the way you're going to do the healing is, even if, we're looking at it saying, hey, we're supposed to be having a great year this year. This is deemed as a good year. How the hell does this look like a good year? It will be, but you need to learn lessons. If you don't learn lessons, it's like you're pushing shit uphill. That's the only way I can describe it. If you're still doing the same thing, it is Groundhog Day and you're going to keep getting the same results. So where you see the key areas in your life, if you're not, it's almost like you're going to uni or you're going to school and you've done the test and you can see the bigger outcome and you know then how to apply the energy. You still don't apply the energy and you're getting a crappy outcome and you lose your job. Why would you do that? I mean, ultimately, you know in your intuition something's not working, yet you're hoping, and this was the old paradigms of the way we used to do things. We go, it'll be okay. And then you put a Band-Aid on. And that was the way we all grew up. The older generation and many of us that would be watching videos like this are wise enough to know that a lot of the way we were raised in the old ways of being raised was very much shut up, dust yourself off and keep going. Unfortunately, Chiron is the wounded healer. You are the wounded and you are healing yourself. So you placed yourself second. Now what's going on is you're actually realizing that's actually part of the problem. How can we help another person if we physically can't help ourselves? How can we stand in our truth if we're not being our own best friend? We're being our own worst enemies. So a lot of the healing for cancers is directly coming down to where the wounds are, taking those Band-Aids off, whatever technique you used to actually mask that pain. It might be avoiding people and just thinking, hey, the solution was done. It might be not speaking your truth, but keeping away from the person so you don't actually have to communicate with them. A lot of that's going to come up. And so if you haven't learned how to deal with that conflict and how to set that person straight and say, hey, enough is enough, that's going to come up because your throat chakra is going to be activated. You're going to feel nauseous. A lot of old ways of doing things is physically going to be coming up in ailments now where it's going to say, hey, your body's telling you, but you're not listening. So what else can I pick up for you guys? You're a very intuitive sign. The whole of the water signs are very intuitive. A lot of you are very, very psychic. You already know what this outcome's going to be. So the ego is the death, right? The death of ego is connected to you're just wasting time. A lot of you are aware you're doing this. You're coming to a place where you're going, I'll get there. You are going to get there, definitely. But the thing is, how long do you keep putting that pause button on before that pause button breaks, before you break, before you blow up, before you get angry? And you're actually not angry at anyone. You're actually angry at yourself because you just can't keep doing Groundhog Day. It's driving you loco. You're really wanting to manifest the cash component. You are very good at manifesting cash. You're very creative. You need to have that aspect of freedom and creativity, and that sense of belonging. And at the moment, the love that you give to particular energies, and this is including your friendships, some of your friendships, water signs, you're even coming to the point where you're looking at it and you're saying, I gave you so much time. Why do you not value what I give you? I don't understand. Why? So your friendships you're outgrowing. And you're actually really, being an intuitive sign, you're sniffing out the bullshit where you're looking at it and you're saying, I can sense you, and I know that you're 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 doing incorrect things by me. You have this intuitive feeling where the rats are in the pack, and it's just not vibrationally going to connect with you any longer. Scorpio, again, the same thing. You got your family dynamics going on. You love your family to the moon and back, but it's almost like a jugular around your throat. You're actually wondering when you're ever going to have a life of your own. Um, that can be past tense energy or current energy that you're physically dealing with right now. So the way that they deal with you, even if they're not physically there in the 3D, it's still directly impacting you, and you're really wanting to purge it. It can be you're getting trigger connected to, if you're in a partnership, their family dynamic or external family dynamics, or you just not feeling completely home due to past tense family dynamics. But in general, family, family, family. You're putting a lot of energy in, but it's like you're trying to put the blinders on and you're really not wanting to look at it because you're really peeved at what you say. And again, it feels like you just keep doing this circle while you're busy. You don't have to focus on it, but you can hear it, you can feel it, the energy of people around you. It's giving you tingles down your arms, like it feels like it's freaking you out. You actually feel people's vibrations so much now that when you're at that agitated point, you're ready to have your verbal diarrhea. And that's the one thing I love about scorpions. It's like you straight shooters. You just cannot tolerate crap. It's like you call it how it is. You're very spiritual. You're very enlightened. Sometimes you wish people will get to your wavelength. And when they don't, you just want to bash your head against a wall. You're gonna have to let them learn. But it may be that you need to communicate certain things with them because the throat chakra is getting to a point where you really need to communicate that. You're also, you're work wise, you guys have got a lot of potential at the moment, but because you have these other dynamics going on, it sort of impacts your work life. At a manifesting level, financially speaking, you guys have got great potential. There is a lot of potential there at a financial level. But it feels like there's an energy, this is past tense or current, that keeps pulling you back every time you almost reach your potential. And you really need to cut that cord connected to that karmic energy because it is actually suppressing your aspect of growth. So you need to fine tune that and look at ways that you can actually work around it or go above it. Pisces. You're externally sensing and feeling energies, but you might feel at the moment that you're a little bit critical. You may as well start having verbal diarrhea, but you can actually see a lot more clearly now. It's upsetting you a bit because initially the way you saw it was very black and white. Now you're seeing the shades in between. And so connected to family, you may be really doing the circles in your family, looking at the family related areas and coming to a place where you may actually speak your truth. But it's going to come from a very different angle. But it's because you're gaining an education through this process. It's like you're being the fly on the wall. You're reserving your power, but in the old ways, you've felt that it's burnt your hand by using your power. So you're a bit cautious about that. You do have money coming in, but you need to be careful how you're using it because I do see it going out as well. I do feel you don't feel deserving of cash, and you're also afraid of manifesting cash as well at the minute. And again, that could be 50-50, but there's a heavy energy at the moment of that coming through. And it may be connected to ego that's purging something of the past. You're needing to gain that passion back in your life because a lot of it is feeling very stale, and it was connected to a past tense hurt. It was a very painful hurt that you haven't let go of yet. But it's almost like you just feel sometimes, as long as you're giving to others or you're focusing on them, you're not needing to focus on you. So when you do have to, it's too painful. But you did want a different life. You wanted it to be different. Any questions? As my cat makes itself incredibly comfortable. Any questions for the water signs before I head off to bed? Any area you want me to tune into for you? No drama, Antonella. Look after yourself, doll. Go and manifest. I do feel the water signs are going to have a lot of liberation. Never. There is changes, but you'll try and focus back on yourself for Pisces, okay? Because a lot of what's going on outside, don't let it directly impact you. Don't let, the attitudes of others shake yours. A lot of it might be triggering things from the past. So if you focus the energy back on yourself, try and see where that pain's coming from. Sometimes when we're looking at a situation, it actually is directly connected to a previous situation. And we're trying to recreate a better vibration. But it's not our job to make a better vibration in a different situation. And I'll give you an example. We might have had a childhood where maybe mum and dad weren't together, and we felt we deserved something better. We then had children, and we may have ended up in a situation where we overcompensated, but then the children became spoiled. Yet we were supposed to break that cycle and understand that that was unfortunate that we lived through that, but not to take that through and recreate that cycle. So we've created a different karmic cycle now within that childhood related subject. And now they're going to change that, and they may give less again. So you've just recreated that. Do you get what I'm saying? Money is directly connected to heart chakra and sacral chakra. So your creativity and your passion, the giving and taking. So pay it forward, you'll get it back, but be open to receiving, and listen to heart chakra. Yes, there is. We are in retrograde as of the 5th, though, so tread carefully and just use your intuition. Anytime, guys. Current energies I have put in the video, but I will be doing more. I am going to be doing elements on the website, so I will be tuning into elements on the website. Due to the retrograde, a lot of purging is coming through, so karmic related cycles will be ending. But how do I put it? I'll be doing regular videos for the twins regardless live, because I like that interaction with you guys. But there is a lot of heart chakra going on in karmic cycles, a little bit of stalking going on. Don't worry, I'll be back on live again. We'll be doing manifestation, and we will be doing twin flame videos. So there's going to be a few sessions live I will be on this month, now that I have my internet fixed. Any other questions before I go, guys? And then I shall do the fire signs and earth signs tomorrow. No more questions? Anything you want to tune into for the water signs? You're really going to have courage this month. You're really going to have to stand your ground. You're going to be making big assessments. You're going to be meditating on situations, and you're going to be seeing truthful situations come through. Anytime star. That's actually what my name means. Thank you, Libra and Chick. Look after yourself. At the moment, anything that's happening in a sense of finances is directly connected to us removing our ego of our worth connected to it. If we can disconnect our aspect of feeling that we're the only reason that we're worth something is because of cash, then that vibration will change and it's going to flow through. And that is heart chakra related. So a lot of us, yes, it can be the cusp as well, your rising sign. So this will be an element connected to you as well. We'll have shadow aspects of these things coming through. The manifestation of it, when we have blocks connected to finance, generally it's we don't have great self-worth. And again, a lot of what's coming through with the water signs is, you know, in a sense of scale, we should have this, but really you're down here and everyone else is up here. And a lot of the signs are doing this, and that's a lot of what Chiron's about, is placing yourself higher than where you were. And it's not to be cruel to other people, it's to be fair to yourself, because if you don't give to yourself and you spend that tank, your car ain't driving nowhere, you know what I mean? So you need to fill that tank and get yourself right so that you can actually get those finances. That's okay, beautiful. Okay, guys, look after yourself, and I will talk to you soon.